Hi guys, how are you doing? It's your girl Owami, and I am back on Boldly Owami. If it's the first time joining me, you're most definitely welcome. Please do subscribe and also make sure that you hit the bell so that you do not miss any uploads. Now, my ninjas, guys, oh my gosh, I know 7 days of Owami was a horrible fail. I am so sorry, guys. Like, a lot was basically just going on. And I also do have to say that I did try to film this video and I had my makeup on. It was just a mess, guys. And so yeah, I was like really just so emotional. I hope that today I won't be as emotional, but no promise. But yeah, man, I also want to say happy belated Women's Day to all my women out there. And yeah, so today, guys, I'm gonna talk about my self-esteem after I got cheated on by my then husband of like 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. I did talk about this in a Q&A, and there was a ninja that actually asked me to say, oh, I mean, can you get into depth when it comes to how him cheating affected your self-esteem? And I was like, okay, of course I'm going to, because I did say that was a video on its own, and I want to start delivering the videos that I promise you guys. So for some of you guys that do not know, I was married to someone that I considered the love of my life. I really honestly was in love with that man. And I don't know why I'm already almost crying. I do also have to give this disclaimer to say, guys, I'm 1,000% okay now. But for me to talk about something, I have to go back into those feelings. I have to go back, mentally into that time. And I will not lie, like just thinking and remembering, the things that were going on at that time. I think that like my heart hurts for me. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, you did not deserve that whatsoever, And I also do want to give this disclaimer to say that, guys, I'm not trying to bash the guy, I'm really not trying to bash the guy. I'm talking about my experience. It is unfortunate that the pain I experienced was through his infliction. And so when I talk about it, there's no way that I can talk about my experience and he's not involved in it. If there was a way I was honestly going to do it, because as I've said, I don't know if some of you know or not, but I actually have forgiven this man. Like, I've forgiven him, though I got no apology, but I have forgiven him and I've moved on with my life. But if I'm gonna be talking about the things that I experienced, I'm gonna have to talk about him, and if I get emotional, I'm not crying because, oh my gosh, you miss your ex-husband. No, I don't want that nigga. No, please. But yeah, for some of you that do not know, I was married. I used to like believe in daughter so much. I won't lie. I was one of those people that when I see, I remember I once came across like this audio that says something like that. And I remember I was just like, girl, whoever hurt you, you need to relax, because some of us are out here and we believe in daughter because our mans could never do that, like that's what like I had at the back of my mind. And so when I found out that he was cheating, guys, like, my goodness, my whole world came crumbling down. When I talk about losing self-esteem, I wish that was the only thing that I lost, or like that was affected at that time. But it went deeper than that, I lost my self-worth. At that time, I lost it. I had to fight very hard to get it back. But at that time, guys, like, I lost my self-worth. I felt so worthless. I felt so stupid. I felt so used. I felt so useless. I felt so dumb. I have never in my adulthood felt the emotions and the feelings that I felt during that time. I've never. And mind you guys, you should remember that at that time, I still had fibroids, I do still have mukaba now, but my mukaba was actually worse then because of the fibroids. That's the first thing. The second thing, we were at a point where, I had decided I'm going to make the sacrifice because my ex wanted a baby. And so we were like, okay, sorry, we're going to have a child, but it was not happening, And finding out that I had fibroids, I think that it was just really comfortable to just say, okay, it's because of the fibroids why we're not falling pregnant. And so at that time, I was taking that experience of us not being able to have a child at that time, and I was actually like putting it on me, because we did try for over a year. So I also had to be dealing with that. The other thing again, I think, and today I'm gonna just really be open with you guys, because I hope that this video will be able to help someone that is still in that situation, where they're feeling the way that I felt. I think that it's no secret that my skin used to be really bad, you know. Wow. My skin used to be really, really bad. I know you guys know this. Of course, now you guys can see my face, and it's been a long journey. But yeah, that really affected my confidence so much. If you can go back to my videos that 2020, I doubt, guys, that if you can look properly from April going to, like, I don't know, maybe up until September, October, somewhere there, I doubt you'll get a video of me on YouTube without makeup. Some of you guys used to praise me so much, be like, wow, oh, I mean, like, you work so hard every single day, like, you've got makeup, you know, you're pumping videos. Meanwhile, at that time, guys, like, I was literally dying inside. I could not film a video without makeup. Like, this is a huge win for me, you know, the fact that I'm able to actually do this right now, like, it's a huge win for me. But then I couldn't. I really couldn't. I've always had like really bad pigmentation, you know. My neck and my face have always been darker than the rest of my body. And I know that, you know, everyone is going to be like, oh yeah, that's normal. But mine was a bit abnormal. I really don't know what happened. The dermatologist basically told me that it's because I never put sunscreen, you know. I never had a skincare routine. Please show me somebody that is broke that has a skincare routine. Like, literally, skincare products are more expensive than the actual makeup, you know. Sunscreen alone, to get like 50 S plus, like at that time the cheapest you'd get was almost 300 rands, you know. And so Mina, for the longest time, guys, like, I was like, okay, this is normal. It's something that really never bothered me, you know. It never did, because before my ex cheated, I used to film some videos without makeup and I was okay. But after he cheated on me, like, wow, like, my confidence was so knocked, you guys, that I started to like just nitpick myself and, you know, like, just basically destroying myself. There was nothing about me that I loved. I did not like the way I looked. I just didn't. It was really tough. It was really, really tough. I'm dealing with the emotions of just literally hating myself. For some of you guys that do not know, when I found out that my ex was cheating, he was literally like, you know, proposing kids. You know, when I say kids, I'm talking about 18-year-olds, underage, 19, 20-year-olds, you know, like children that maybe just graduated from matric, maybe the previous year, you know, or the year before, like the children that he knew. And most of them, I think he even taught, you know, I mean, they're young, you know, and they're beautiful. I believe that everyone is beautiful, but at that time, because my confidence was so knocked, I started also just having a problem with my age as well. Mind you guys, I was 29 at that time, you know. But I felt so old. Guys, there's nothing about the way I look and who I was that I actually liked. I hated myself. I literally did, you know. Now, for some of you, maybe that may ask, like, okay, right now, as you guys can see my skin, I did go to a dermatologist. That was like last day, if I'm not too mistaken. But yo, guys, the prices were just crazy. Like, the consultation prices were just crazy. And so I did get a route. Like, I did get something that I used, and it helped me so much, and it was like it's more affordable than like the consultations, because consultation alone to the dermatologist was like 1,800. Like that's just for consultation, and you're still going to have to go and buy the products and everything, and the products that they're recommending, like I remember one was like 1,200, the other one was like 500, and some needs prescription. It was just a lot for me, but at that time back then, could I afford maybe to go and do like, the chemical pills and stuff? Because I'll do a video obviously the day that I show you guys what I've been using, and just give you guys like the full detail and the full story of what has happened, because a lot of you guys have complimented my skin, because where I come from. But I had been in a marriage where, guys, I was financially abused and I did not even know it, I think that there's also something that comes with like being a giver. Being a giver, guys, like that can advantage you so much. And so if you're someone that is just a giver, like, you sit down and also reevaluate the people that you give and how much you give, because let me tell you something, takers never know when to stop. That's why, like, as a giver, you need to know, like, this is where I draw the line. So my ex used to stay with my bank card. All the money that would get paid into that card. If I needed to use even 100 rands, I would have to call him and be like, hey, can I please transfer 100 rands so that I can buy this? Like literally I would have to ask. And I do remember that whenever I was like maybe buying foundations and stuff, I would usually use I forgot the name of that foundation. I think it's Yardley, yeah. I think it was like 170, that was the one that I used to use. If I could see something that was a bit more expensive, like maybe for my 299, which is 300 rands, my ex will literally say, no, that's too expensive, you're wasting money. But I'll be like, okay, I'll end up going to take the Yardley, which it was really good. If you are someone that needs a foundation, you can use the Yardley ones. They're really affordable. But after that, we'll go maybe to Ocean Basket and swipe 350. And somehow for me, mentally, that was okay. Like somehow for me, I just felt like, he just wants obviously for us to save money. But I would look at that. That is the aspect that I used to look at. And I'm like, but you just refused me to get a foundation at 300. But you're okay for us to go and eat for 350. So, it really honestly was just like, okay. But for me, I think that sometimes what most people don't understand is that someone that is like mentally abused, there's certain things, man, it's like a process of grooming, so even though like maybe I wanted to do something to improve my skin, I just knew that in the house, like, it would never be accepted. It would be like, oh, that's too expensive. Like, how much are chemical pills? Chemical pills are very expensive. Like, you can get like, a good chemical pill for like $1,000 and stuff. And if this man can't even allow me like get a foundation at 300, like, what about chemical pills and stuff? So I really never looked into that. And besides, I used to be very confident in myself, even though my skin was looking like that, because I was like in love, and I did not know a lot of stuff that this man was actually doing behind my back. And so, there's a way that a woman acts when she feels loved. I felt loved, I felt secured. And obviously after I found out that he was not faithful, that was when a lot of stuff basically hit me. It was really a lot. It really was a lot. Like, as I'm saying, guys, like, I really questioned myself. Like, every single thing about me, I questioned myself. I questioned my beauty. And I think that one of the most painful things that I think of right now is the fact that, due to the fact that, like, when I got married, like, that marriage was my whole entire life, I didn't have friends. I didn't have anyone that I would be like, oh, I'm so close to this person. Like, my best friend was literally my ex-husband. And I think that it was so difficult at that time and so confusing, because I got to lose my husband and my best friend at the same time. I didn't have anyone that I could say I could fully trust. And so I ended up just opening up to people that I feel like they looked at me and they're like, oh, Owami is so strong that I feel like maybe I did not get as big of a support, because of like, oh, she's so strong. Meanwhile, at that time, I was literally anticipating on killing myself. having to go through all that, and being so scared, not knowing what the future holds, but knowing for a fact that I can't stay here. Oh man, I can't remember a day that I woke up and I didn't cry. I used to cry every single day. Every single day. Like, I'm not even lying to you guys. After I would put on the makeup, I would literally go to the bathroom and I would cry. When I'm taking a shower, I would always cry. Like, that shower in Free State knows my tears, you know. It really honestly was just a lot. I think that my I don't even know how to say this, but I was just so at a point where I felt like I did not have anything to hold on to in terms of like my self-esteem, you know, my self-worth, not feeling stupid, you know, this and that and that. It really honestly took a lot. And I think that for me, and I'm gonna just be open with you guys, whether if you choose to take that or not, you know, that is on you. And I'm not saying that if this is what worked for me, it's what's going to work for you. But I have a small waist, like, especially, like, you know, I'm a big girl, but my body is very, you know, I don't know if maybe I'll be able to get a picture for some of you guys that do not know me to just say I have a very small waist. And for a very long time, I always would dress it up because I didn't want people to like see it, you know, because I just felt like my body looks a bit weird. Like, I have those BBL bodies, but I have mukaba. So, you know, if we remove mukaba, I feel like, yes, you know, but I would have, like, you know, that thing where I would always dress and I just would not show it. But after obviously the separation and filing for divorce, that's when I started to dress, you know, I would dress for my waist a bit and stuff. And so after, like, I would say September of 2020, that was when I felt like I started to gain a bit of my confidence back. And the reason for that was because at that time, there was someone that I was now talking to, and he used to compliment me so much. He'd be like, you have got like such a gorgeous body, like, you know, because, and then he would touch like my, you know, my waist and be like, damn, like, you know. And so I think that was when I started to rebuild my confidence in terms of like, okay, if there is someone that is saying I look gorgeous and he is, you know, an upgrade from my ex, then maybe I'm not as bad, you know. And I think that was when I also like just started to rebuild my confidence, and I started to get to a point where I was now starting to be confident with myself. I don't believe that, you know, your self-worth or your self-value, or your self-esteem needs to come from a man. But for me, I will not lie, honestly, like, the compliments that the guy used to give, that's what basically gave me a boost. The sad part, again, as I was saying, that as I said, was that I didn't have anyone that I would go to and be like, oh my gosh, like, you know, can you, like, with this and this, like, especially for the first months. So the person that used to see me and he would see all my struggles was, guess who? My ex-husband. You know, I would start to just pick myself, like, I'd be like, oh, I really need to clear my skin, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then I'll be like, yo, I hate my belly, I really want to do to you know, get the fibroids out, blah blah blah. I'd talk about, like, do you think I'm old, you know, things like that. And he would be like, no, you're not old, you know, you're fine. But I think at the back of his mind, maybe he knew. Obviously, I found out that he was busy dating kids, so I think that was like something that he could pick up to actually, like, you know, see that, okay, it means that she's struggling with this and she's struggling with that, which he was not wrong. But I think that one of the things that I'm just so grateful to God that I was able to rebuild my confidence before it happened was the fact that, if you look at it, he came for exactly that when it came to coming to the internet and teaming up with a woman to try destroy me. The things that were being said was like, I'm ugly, which is obviously something that had become an insecurity that time when I was still with him. The second thing was like, I look old, which was the age factor that I was just so insecure with when I was with him after he cheated on me. My size, like, oh, she's fat, this and that. That was something that also came because I was constantly like complaining about my size, and I was constantly like just complaining about like my belly. So like, oh, her body's not nice, like those type of statements that were being said. For me, I am grateful that I was able to work on my self-confidence before he now decided that he was gonna come and team up with that girl. And for me, I think that I took it so personal because I knew exactly where all these things that were being said were coming from. When they say someone is gonna hit you under the belt, that's exactly what he was trying to do, because he thought I was still at the place where I was when I was with him after finding out about him cheating. And I guess it's just thought that this is going to definitely destroy her. But thank God that I was at a point where I had started to love myself. I had started to see value in myself. I had started to say that, okay, you know what? I am not perfect, but I am okay with my imperfections. And so, yeah, honestly, like it really was a lot. I think that after everything that I had just found out, of him doing and what he was doing and what he was saying, him coming to the internet was not a shock for me. But for him to try and use the softest spots that I now developed, the insecurity due to his infidelity, really like just showed me that, yeah, this man is classless. This man really hated me, and he really just wanted to destroy me, him and this girl that he decided that they were gonna team up with. So if not for the fact that obviously I had worked on myself and I had built my self-esteem, at that time, I definitely feel like I would have walked away from YouTube. Because for some people that do not understand, obviously I'm in court right now because there's so much that happened. He even went on to touch on like how I am barren, some of the insecurities that I was having at that time because of the fibroids that I had. I felt so violated. I don't even want to lie. I really honestly felt so violated. Like, you lied about me. You did everything. I found out. I tried to clear up to say, guys, this is not what happened. Not only do you continue, but you decide that you're going to go for the softest spots and also lie on top of that. And so I think that as much as I experienced everything that I experienced publicly, I experienced more in private that you guys did not see. You guys did not see the times that, I would go to the shops to maybe buy bread and people would just be looking at me because Freddie is so small. Everybody believed that, I cheated on him. I treated him so horribly. I did this and that. Because remember, his mother also went on, to spread that his malumekazi, who passed away, unfortunately, also decided that she was going to do the same. Everybody made me the villain, whilst I was the one that was being broken down every day. Everyone would look at me like, and I would see that it's not just a matter of looking. Like, people would do this to each other and then look back and look at me. Maybe I'll enter and buy bread, and then after buying bread, when I'm paying, they would like, I'm not lying to you guys about, they would throw the change at me. And the difference was there because remember, I had stayed there for a very long time, and so that really made me get to a point where like I would go to Standard to buy my groceries, but things like bread, I wouldn't have a choice, but obviously to actually like buy there, and stuff. And then obviously the time that he was home, he would always be the one that actually goes to buy, because I was just so insecure about that. I did like, okay, what are they saying about me now, and stuff like that. I think that is different, like when people on the internet are talking and when people that you're literally living with are actually talking. Like, I would not even go out in Friday at that time. Like, I would always constantly just want to like not even go out there. If I'm going out, let me rather go to Standerton where people don't even know me or know what is going on. Like, there's so much that basically went on. You know, when you know for a fact that you did not do anything wrong, like you did not cheat on this man, but everybody's looking at you like a hoe. It destroys your self-worth. It destroys your self-esteem. It destroys like just you as a person, you know. And mind you guys, at that time, like I am almost 1,000 kilometers from home. I have never craved my mother's grave to that point in my life. That ish almost destroyed me. It really did. And just because of now, you know, I have moved on, it does not mean that I don't still carry some of the trauma that actually went on that time, you know. Yeah, I literally had to fight tooth and nail to be the woman that you guys see today. Because for some of you that may not know, I'm someone that I've been very good in terms of like pretending, you know. So everyone that knows me, they think that, oh, ever since you were young, you've always been very confident and stuff like that. But no, I've been insecure, especially before I met my ex-husband. I dated this guy that, you know, he was not nice and I was still very young, you know, like I think I was like 19. And so, like the guy was just not nice, you know. So when I met my ex-husband, my self-esteem was not, it really wasn't that high. In the beginning of our relationship, like that man loved me so much that my confidence literally went all the way up there. I will give him his flowers in terms of that, in terms of saying that, you know, I remember like every single morning when we wake up, like he would look at me, no makeup, nothing, and he would be like, you are so beautiful. And that was so reassuring for me that I literally believed that, and I built my esteem, you know, from that. But looking at the fact that, okay, he knew where I was coming from. He cheated on me. It means that when he wanted me to leave, he just wanted me to leave just as destroyed as how he actually got me. The greatest crime that I ever did was literally just to love him and maybe just want better for ourselves and make more than him. Like that was the greatest crime that I actually did. So yeah, it was really tough, guys. It wasn't just my self-esteem. It really wasn't, you know. I'm someone that I'm smart, especially when I'm not in love, honey. I'm a very smart hun, you know. But at that time, I felt so dumb. I felt so stupid. I felt like you're the dumbest human in the whole universe, because as everything was coming up, you know, I would hear like, you know, the things that people are saying, this and that and that and that and that. I started to realize that, and like, guys, I was literally married to my enemy. Like, my biggest enemy. That is another video for another day. Literally, I was married to my biggest enemy. This man did not only just not love me, did not only just, or let me say, this man did not only just fall out of love with me, because he did love me at some point. He did not just, you know, maybe not like me. He hated me. Hated me like to the core. And I really honestly was just like, my God, like you hate me. Like, how did I not see all this? That's the stupid part of it that I felt, you know. And then I was thinking of all the things and all the sacrifices that I've had to do over the years. Like, I should have just left this nigga the time he gambled my car. Literally, you know, the time he left me with an unpaid rent. I should have just left. Like, I had so much regrets in terms of also the time that he left and he had not paid rent, guys. I did not want him back. I promise, I did not want him back. Like, I was like, no, I do not want him back, you know. But when I got a call from my friend and he said that, hey, Bigger was here begging for food, I was like, my heart literally broke. And so that was when I decided, okay, you're gonna come, I'm gonna help you get a job. and then you are gonna move out. I told him that you're gonna get your own place and stuff, and then we were leaving. Would have many conversations, and I was like, I really just want to help you, because he had done, he had been like a rock for me the time my mother passed, and we stayed with like my baby sister and everything. So he really honestly did contribute positively in my life a lot. But at that time I was like, I just want to help you, and then we're even. You helped me, now I'm also helping you, and then we're even. But he begged me, sat down, we spoke, and I guess also the fact that he had not crossed the red line, which is cheating for me, I decided, okay, let's give it another go. And so yeah, that like that time I was like, why didn't you just not go for him? Why didn't you just not, say you want to help him? You should have done this, you should have done that. I felt very stupid. I really, really felt very, very stupid, Now obviously, as I'm about to finish, I think what maybe if you guys want, I can do a video like of how I gained my confidence, regained my confidence back and my self-worth. And the other thing again that I'll say is this: if you, that time when everything was happening, I'm so grateful that everything happened in Friday, because Friday doesn't have potentials, guys. No, that's just like, I'm not even like, not for me. It may be like, there may be guys for other people, but not for me. Like, I just didn't see any potentials for me over there. So I couldn't really just go out there and sleep with anyone, Even the guy that I was with, he's not from Friday, So he's actually not from Friday, but he's also not from Secunda, because I know somebody's gonna, but I'm not gonna say exactly where he's from, but he's not from Friday and he's not from Secunda. That is a promise. So I think that before, I like, guys, since I didn't value myself and my self-worth was so low, I feel like I could have just slept with anybody. Because like, I just felt so used. I was like, I've been giving myself to a man that hates me. Like, I might as well, But I'm thankful that it was during COVID, and also Freddy doesn't have any potentials, so I wasn't able to do that. I think that one thing that I can tell you that taught me was that not everyone that sleeps around as a girl is just a matter of they're so confident and they kingwanyana wa strata and whatnot. No, I think that most women, it's because something so bad happened that they lost their self-worth. They don't feel worthy. Any man can touch them, and it really was so sad, because I remembered that there's someone that I know, we went to school together, and she was so promiscuous, but like, she literally like would just sleep with anybody, teachers, whoever, like everybody knew her as a whore. And then we later found out that, oh, okay, actually, like, she was sexually assaulted, and that's how it went. And I started to literally understand, to say, I think that she just felt she didn't have the worth anymore. So like, what is the point of even keeping yourself? Because I only had one man for like 8 full years, So for me, it was really just a lot, man. It took a lot to rebuild. When I was that side, I only had one guy, and I'm like, whew, but at the same time, I am at a much, much better place now. And I am so grateful that man cheated. I really am. I will do a video as well about this, like the benefits that I got. God literally knew that the only way I'll leave this man is through him cheating. And so I guess he allowed it, and as much as it was so painful, but I'm so grateful for it now, because I would not have the life that I'm living now had it been that I was still there in Free State, So I think that no matter what you're going through right now, no matter how painful, no matter how, I know some of you guys right now are going through it all, that's why like you would have also been crying with me, it gets better. It gets better. You do overcome. You do get to a point where everything is fine. And you don't have those, feelings anymore. Yes, they will creep up here and there in terms of like, I'm still really scared to commit. I like, ain't no nigga getting my heart like that, but I'm working on it. But the pain literally goes away. The pain literally goes away. So, yeah, man, honestly, this was not an easy one to make. And through his own selfishness, he just, I don't think that he understands how deep he cut me, you know. um and I'm like, you could have just sat down with me and say, hey, I don't want to be in this marriage, or I don't want to be in this relationship, and I would have easily walked away without having to do all that he actually did, you know. What a cruel way to treat a woman who all she did was love you. What a cruel way. But we move, you know. And God's plan is greater. So I am sorry that I was a bit too emotional in this video. As I said, I tried to film it the first time with makeup. It was horrible. I had makeup everywhere. I was like, cha, we are actually coming fresh face. But yeah, keep strong, and please don't let any man, like, you know, treat you like a mbobo, guys. Please don't. Please do not. You're worth it. You are worth it. You are definitely worth it. But anyway, I love you, ninjas. Stay blessed, and I will see you guys in my next upload. Bye.